and welcome to week 2 of the Simple Football Show. And yes guys, we are back again for week 2 of the Simple Football Show. I'm going to be bringing you all the latest results on the weekend and talking about each game in detail and giving my thoughts and walking over each game as well for week 2 of the EFL. It's going to be good, so let's get on with it. So yes guys, there was Saturday matches, Sunday matches and also Monday matches today. Well, the weekend just gone. So we first start with Arsenal vs Burnley. That was the first game to kick off in the Premier League. Arsenal vs Burnley, and I gotta be honest, Arsenal pulled out of the bag again, you know. But I've got to give it to Burnley. They had a cracking first game of the season. Second game away at Arsenal, to be honest, a brilliant. I know they lost, but a brilliant result as well. So Arsenal 2-1, like I said, and Aubameyang scoring goals. Like I've said all along with Arsenal, they've got some cracking signings, and going forward, they're going to be a danger. The defensive errors is still where I think they were going to struggle just a little bit. I just feel like they're not as strong as other teams in defence. They're really not. Yes, you got David Luiz to hold up, but they've never been a really strong defensive team for quite a few years. So defensively, they are going to struggle this season. The Burnley scored, but it was a cracking goal by Barnes. He's been amazing scoring this season. But going forward, Arsenal have got some really good flipping attacking, and Caballos, I think his name is, in midfield. Great signing from Real Madrid. The number 8 role, he plays very much like Fabregas, and I think that's going to be a key player. I think we'll put him on Fantasy League. That's how good I think he is. I think he's a cracking player, and I feel like he's going to be a big threat this season, and teams have got to watch out because he's a great playmaker. You saw in this, he was setting up goals, he was setting up places, he was creating chances, and that's what Arsenal's been missing for a long time. And him being in the side is going to be very key for them this season. And you've got like Lacazette and Aubameyang, they're goal scorers. The players Liverpool wanted at one point, So for them, I feel like a great result, and obviously they've got Liverpool at the weekend, which is going to be a big task for him, but we'll see what happens. But Burnley State are brilliant. Honestly, the way they're performing so far, top 10 I can see easily. A real good top 10. They're solid and they're performing, and I can see it. They really are. They're doing everything a club at that level should be doing. So a great game for the first game, 2-1 to Arsenal on that. Then we had Aston Villa versus Bournemouth, and to be honest, I didn't really expect much more from them at all. We know Bournemouth's been a brilliant team. They always have been. They've always been powerful. They've always, they've always grind the results out. I know at home they really are, but away they've been a good team as well. Aston Villa coming into it, because of the signings, I feel like a lot of people probably expect them to do a lot better compared to first and losing game, and also losing this game as they lost 2-0, 2-1 again. It was a good goal from Douglas Luiz. Brilliant, honestly. It was a really good, great signing for them as well. The Brazilian, it was a good goal. It was a beautiful goal to get that, consolation goal. But for me, I still feel like Aston Villa are just going to be losing a lot of games. And for them, we know, can they stay up this season? Can they stay up? And that is a big question. They've got good players. They've got really good. You got Grealish. You got I forgot that number 7 dude for him. But they've got a lot of good players, a lot of top quality players that can do things. It's just, can they do that? And can teams score more past them? And that's where they've been a bit iffy at the minute, but it's only early days. Bournemouth, on the other hand, brilliant. They have been phenomenal. I've always been saying where they'll come mid-table-ish, top 12 type of thing. They've got brilliant players. Obviously, the lone Wilson, cracking goal. I know he got deflection, but cracking, and King, what penalty. I just think going forward, Bournemouth are really strong, and they've always been a strong defensive team as well, with Ake. And I think is it done, maybe? I think it might be done in defence. I just feel like they've got a really solid team, and they're going to be one of the sides. They're going to be upsetting a lot of teams, and it's going to be good. But for the first 2 games of the season, they've done brilliant. Bournemouth, they've got an away win against Aston Villa. It's going to be tough when a team's got newly promoted, because you don't know how they're going to act, but Tim had to ball, and Bournemouth well played in that game, really well played. Then we had Brighton versus West Ham, and I've got to be honest, Brighton are having a cracking season. They really are. West Ham not doing too good in my opinion. They're really not. Brighton at home. Obviously they managed to get the goal straight off the start. Get that early goal. I think they got a goal ruled out of VAR as well, which we know is going to be a big talking point throughout the season. But yeah, Brighton, cracking win for the first game of the season. Second game, drawing against West Ham. West Ham's a big club. They are a big club. Yes, they've not been performing well in recent years. Yes, they've not been getting them top 6 places. But they were good. They've got good players and a good fan base. It's just they're not performing. You know what I mean? So Brighton are cracking 1-0. They've got 4 points on the first 2 games. You can't ask more from the team, really. You really can't. You know what I mean? So Brighton, I can't say anything bad. They are going to escape relegation easily. They can be easily in the top 15 straight up. The way they're performing is really good at the minute, especially against the lower sides in the league as well. West Ham, on the other hand, And then there's a cracking goal for me, you know, like I've always said, I feel like they've got a good place, but they don't use them enough in games, and they're not clinical enough, and this is where I think West Ham are going to struggle this season. You know, first of the year season didn't do too well, you know, they really didn't. Losing the first game of the season, second game, they've not done much better, they really haven't. The West Ham have got a long way to go, you know, and I feel like for them, it is going to be a hard season for them, and they're not really going to create a lot, you know, and I feel like teams are easily going to walk past them. Then we've got Everton and Watford. Everton kicked off with their first half of the season. Watford they're having a terrible season so far. I know it was only the first 2 games, but you know, losing first game of the season to Brighton and then losing it to Everton again. I just feel like Watford at the minute, they've not got on all cylinders. They're having a very slow season. They're doing the Crystal Palace, you know, you're not performing around the start of the season and then boom, you're firing all cylinders. You know, we know Watford, what they've done in recent years. They've been big sides, they've done a lot, and they've actually, you know, the players they got, I can't say they're bad players, they're great players. They deserve to be in the Premier League. At the minute, I just don't think they're just up to full cylinders. I feel like they're not fit enough, they're not playing as well as enough. And to be fair, Everton probably should have got a few more, but Bernard with the first goal straight off, you know, doing well. Like I said, I think Everton have got a great attacking forward, defensive, a lot of issues in defence still, you know, and Watford can easily score. We've seen them before, you know, they've got a good going forward, you know. DLA, who's not really been on full cylinders at the minute as well, which they was a key player last season, especially in the FA Cup run. So we've got to see what happens there. But at the minute, these 2 sides, Everton, I think are slowly trying to become an full powerful. Watford struggling a lot at the minute. Then we had Norwich versus Newcastle, and we know that at the minute Norwich has been brilliant. Yes, first game of the season you was against the one and only Liverpool, so you're gonna struggle. Let's be honest, you're playing up against the champions of Europe. You're gonna struggle, but the dude Pucky, may I say, is absolutely insane, and I'll be very shocked if he keeps this record if he's at Norwich at the end of the season, because there's going to be a lot of big teams wanting him, especially the top 6. 4 goals at the start of the season, top goal scorer in the league right now. Is phenomenal. Again, the point of the fantasy league is that good. Again, brilliant outperform. We saw him against Liverpool. He's sliding a great goal as well, may I say. I'll be honest, it was a cracking goal. Norwich again, he's done it again. Newcastle, what a goal. 3 goals, and the way Norwich was playing, they could have got 5 or 6. I'm surprised they didn't. They were very unlucky not to get more. Norwich, a really good team, and again, for saying they're newly been promoted, it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal the way they are playing. A newly promoted side looking like a mid-table team straight away. I've got a team ahead up to Norwich. They are brilliant, and I can't find a fault in the whole team. I really can't. At the minute, they are going strong. They really are. Yes, they're not going to be up to the full cylinders of the top boys, but at the minute, they are really good. Newcastle, on the other hand, they're struggling, you know. I'm fully going to say this, relegation I can see straight away. Last week I was a bit unsure. Just seeing how they perform, they're not creating chances. They've got a few good key players, but I don't think their team is strong enough to stay in the Premier League. Especially when you see Norwich and other teams beating them like this. I don't think they're gonna do enough to stay up this season. I feel like, unfortunately, this season is probably their season to go down. So far, what I've seen, they've not done a lot. Obviously, it's early days and teams can change. We know that teams can change halfway through the season. Boom, get over victories. Boom, you're up. But at the minute, Newcastle are struggling, and they are my favourites to go down. They're the ones I can say 20th straight away. There we had my team, the one and only. Come on, Liverpool. Yes, we played Southampton away from home, and it was a great score, you know, 2-1. Some people say, oh, you didn't play that good. Obviously, I have to watch the full game so I can talk a little bit more about Liverpool game. Obviously, we had a brilliant start in 11, pretty much the same as other weeks. Obviously, we had Firmino resting, Henderson resting because of the Super Cup on Wednesday, which was a brilliant result, may I say, as well, guys. I can't believe we won it. Really, hands down. You know, it came to the last bit of penalties. I was like, oh, I was so nervous. You know, we didn't play a cracking game in the Super Cup. We didn't. We struggled a bit. Chelsea, I would go to say, probably over the 90 minutes, probably better than us. Probably better than us. Yes, they got a VAR decision, which I talk about in another video, which I think was a little bit unfair, so we should have still won an extra time, but went on penalties and Adrian stepped up, did the job, and we won penalty shootout, which I'm buzzing about. A Norwood trophy captain to the flipping Liverpool club, which is brilliant, and now we've got more trophies than United, so I'd just like to get that win in there. Let's go. Yeah, more trophies than United, which is quite nice. 43 for us, 42 for them. So yeah, nice to win the Super Cup, but also with this game, you know, at the end of the day, I think Klopp and the whole Liverpool fan base would have took any result, you know, as long as we didn't lose, and we won, so you can't go wrong with that. You know, we've got a team that's not fully fit yet. I still don't think we're full cylinders. We're winning games. There's teams out there that are already dropping points. and we're not. We, you know, 2-1. You know, the first half, I've got to be honest, Southampton was all over us. They really were. Southampton was all cylinders, and like I said, Southampton's going to be a side that's going to be dangerous this season. I don't think they're going to be up in the your European places, but I think they're going to be, you know, throwing around that 8-9, and they were dangerous. They were dangerous. Surprised they didn't go in. You know, a great save from Adrian. For us, we did the job in the first half. Game man again, that beautiful goal. You know, he's going to be our star player. I already know last season he started becoming a star player. This season, Salah's still going to be in there. He's a brilliant player. Firmino again, the front three is fantastic. We know that. I just feel like Mane, just, you know, I just feel recently he's just been building and building this magical power. It's insane. And then obviously second half we went up 2-0 with Firmino, cracking goal. He could have finished a chance earlier, you know what I mean? We could have been 3-4. We was on fire at that point. And then we just kind of struggled a little bit, and you know, I felt a little bit sorry for Adrian at some points. You know, his footing went a little bit weird a few times. I feel like he was stepping up at Alisson sometimes. Now we've always had them issues with Liverpool keeper, and I think it's not really, you can't really embed, you know, you can't really bed in a team until you've done that for Liverpool. You know, we've had it all, you know, Rainers, you're flipping Mignolet's, your Carriers, your Alissons, they've all done it. They've all done a stupid mistaking goal that's led to a goal. Look at last season with Alisson, Leicester. It's happened now again with Adrian. He passed the ball literally to Ings, and they were back on the back in the race. You know, they was thinking, oh, we can get a draw from this, and Ings scuffed a shot right then. But I think overall Liverpool, we did play a lot better, and to go top of the league second in the season, it's not too bad, you know what I mean? And we've got Arsenal second in the table. That's going to be an interesting game that I'm looking forward to, guys, and you'll have all the reports next week as well, so that's going to be cool to stay tuned with as well, guys. But yes, definitely I think Liverpool, we're not on full cylinders, but we're getting there and we're getting results, which is the main thing, and that's what you need to do to win a league title, which we know we're hungry for. Then we go on to Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur, and this game we know it had some controversies, obviously, because of VAR, which again, I'm not talking too much VAR in my videos because I'm waiting until the whole video comes out, obviously, in the next couple of days, where obviously I talk about VAR completely, talk about what it does and all that, but we'll go over a little bit, and obviously each week the more I add VAR in, obviously, because I've done that video, so it makes sense. So obviously Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur, what a game, and I've got to be saying here how much I don't like City. I've just got to say it, they probably did deserve to win, you know. Obviously, they got a VAR decision disallowed. But anyway, I'll talk about the game first. Man City were playing much all over Spurs, let's be honest. They should have gone 3-4-0 up in the first half. They didn't, you know, and obviously Spurs were able to get the equalisers, and they get an equaliser again, you know. Sterling is on form this season at the minute. Probably one of the... Would you say he's probably the most on-form player going forward? Probably yes at the minute, with this goal scoring form, you know, at the minute, obviously he's drawing goals top scorer with Pucky. Yeah, he's literally on fire, literally, like, he's scoring goals left, right and centre. De Bruyne is getting them crosses in. Like I said, City's going to be in the top two. I really do think, you know, I don't think results might go their way, but they're going to get top two. I'll be shocked if they do not. Spurs, cracking team. We know we saw a game to the Champions League final. They're a good team. They're a good side. They've got potential. They can do anything, you know what I mean, if they wish to on a certain day. The issue with Spurs is they go through this spell in games where they don't play so good, and this is what happens to them, as we've seen in this game. City just have that little bit more edge than them. They have a little bit more power going forward, and it just crumbles. I've always said Spurs' defence isn't that strong. They haven't. They don't really improve it. They don't know how to tie Nick back at the north. It's no leaders controlling the back, which is where they're going to struggle. And City just kept popping through their gaps. They was unfortunate not to get the win. They probably should have won City, but they didn't. But going forward, like I've said, I feel like they've got great, you know, you've got Song, you've got Everton, you've got Lucas, they've got great going power. I still don't understand why Lucas doesn't play more and he doesn't start. You know, the manager, you know, Pochettino, he doesn't like to start him for some reason, and I feel like they're going to struggle with this because I feel like he provides a lot of the goals. When Harry Kane's not on fire, when he's not scoring goals, where's your goals coming from? You know what I mean? Son can get goals, Everton can get goals, but they don't always get goals in games, that's the thing. Lucas deserves a start, and I don't know why he doesn't start. I really don't. But for Spurs, they need to. I think they need to start stepping up a little bit. I mean, I can't say I want to, and they've got 4 points already. They're drawing with City on points. You know what I mean? So I feel like City's going to be a little bit unhappy with, especially with the first game and this game. They probably deserve to be on 6 points personally. But no, Spurs got to be happy with the result so far. They play, you know, they're playing big teams, and the game results on the minute. So for Spurs, you know, they've just got to keep going. And like I said, third, fourth, around now, I personally think they will get. I feel like they will step up against big teams. I don't feel like they've got enough firepower to beat the big teams, unlike City and your Liverpool, you know. But yes, I think they're big teams, but I don't know if they'll fully do it. Manchester City, like I've said, I feel like they're strong enough, you know, to win the title, like I've said, if they do. But VAR's going to, you know, that list is going to be a big thing for them, you know. Obviously, the handball, do I think it was a penalty? A handball, like, to stop play? Probably not, but at the end of the day, the rules are going to be like that. It's got to stick all the way through, and you know, it did have an advantage because obviously it hit it and then Jesus scored. So you've got to look at it that way. Do I think it's going to make a big impact throughout the season? Yes, it will. But if they stick to the same rules, then it's fair. If they start changing it, that's when he's going to get messy, and that's when it's not going to go right and it's going to be unfair. But you know, it's unfortunate for City, but VAR has really not been on their side. But I'm sure it will be one side. You know, it works both ways, you know what I mean. So yes, guys, we have 2 games on Sunday. We have Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. And what a start to the new season for Sheffield United, you know what I mean? Picking up a draw last week and winning this week as well. It's absolutely phenomenal, you know. I think Sheffield United at home are going to be somewhere dangerous. It's going to be like your Burnley, Turf Moor. It's going to be somewhere where teams not going to want to go. They've got a great fan base. You know, they're a strong team, you know, defensively, going forward, they've set up well, do you know what I mean? Yes, it might not be getting your 4, your 5, your goals, but they set up a well where when they're defending, they've got 8 people back in defence helping them out. You know, going forward, they've got enough players to go forward to do danger, but coming in defence, you ain't going to have a chance. You know, we saw against Crystal Palace, they've not had the best of the seasons, at 1 point from 2 games, not doing too well, you know. We know with Crystal Palace, the only thing there, I feel like the one thing they're missing mostly is goals, and we will talk about that later. But with Sheffield United, brilliant. When Zaha was on the ball, probably Crystal Palace's best player and where the goals come from. 2 players at a time going to the ball. That's what you need, and that's what Sheffield are doing. Yes, they're just getting the punch. They're gravelling away. They want to stay up. They don't want to go down. It's been 14 years since they've been here. They want to stay up in the Premier League, and so far what they're doing is brilliant. You know what I mean? 4 points from your first 2 games is phenomenal, and for a newly promoted side, or you know, most of the newly promoted sides apart from Aston Villa have done amazing. They really have. They're really getting the points and they're really going for, you know what I mean? And this is what you want. They're going to be tormenting sides this season, and you know, your top teams are going to find it hard to play against Sheffield United because of the way they play. And you know, that is down to the manager. You know, the way they play is down to the manager, and down to, you know, they've got new signings but they've not paid them all, do you know what I mean? It does it, and you know, I think I had Sheffield, it's going to be a good season for him, and I think they'll stay up the way they're playing. Crystal Palace on the other side, I think that maybe this could be their season to go down at the minute, just because they've got firepower. I've said this before, they always have firepower, they're just not clinical. The players are not getting in the right positions, they're not finishing chances off when they should be, and this is where I think, yes, they're going to pick up results, yes, they're going to pick up points, but are they going to have enough to stay up? And Newcastle and Crystal Palace so far have not shown enough for me to be promising to stay in the Premier League. I just feel like both the teams are struggling. You know, and with the Zaha situation with leaving and all that, his head doesn't know where he's really at the minute. Yes, he's going to be full focus on Crystal Palace, but when it comes to January, is he still going to be there? That's the thing, and I feel like at the minute Crystal Palace are in a dangerous situation where I don't know where they're going to go with. Yes, they got 1 point, but I don't think they're going to be doing enough to stay up this season. I really don't. Then, obviously, second game of Sunday was Chelsea versus Leicester. And again, these are both 2 teams which I think would be roughly the same area. Your 5th, your 6th, your 7th, your 8th, around there, depending how the results go, you know. I feel like both teams are going to be going at it. Obviously, Leicester's had 2 draws now, 2 points. Chelsea picked up a point, and obviously they lost against United the other week. Chelsea have the potential to do alright this season. I'm not going to say amazing because I don't think they've got the players to do amazing. I feel like their star man this season will be Mount. Obviously, we know we played Derby County last season, and obviously he's a young player, and Frank Lampard believes in young players, and because of the transfer ban, they have to play the young players, and they're doing well. Mount going forward is phenomenal, and he will be their key player. He's at that key role. He's the player, it's the player where everyone goes through. Last season was Hazard, is Mount this season. He's gaining the goals, he's looking for options, and he's creating chances, and it's going to be all around Mount this season. From other players, I'm not really seeing a lot. You know, yes, they probably could have gone up. They probably should have won the game if they finished chances, but I've not seen enough from Chelsea to say, okay, you're going to be dangerous this season. We saw it in the Super Cup, they were dangerous, but that weren't us full speed. That's the issue. So Chelsea's going to be a little bit, we're going to need to see where they go this season. Leicester, on the other hand, brilliant to get a point away from home. I think Leicester are going to do it really good this season, I really do. You know, I feel like, again, they're not scoring on all cylinders yet, but once they do, they will be dangerous, and I think they're going to be hard for teams to beat. I really do. But Leicester, I think, you know, roughly where they've been doing the past couple of seasons, that's where I believe they will be again. You know, just keep grinding, keep gravelling, try and do well. Maybe it will try and focus on the cup. That's what I feel personally Leicester will do, but great result for them as well. Then we had Monday, the last game of the season, the last game of week 2. Manchester United first Wolves, and what a disappointment for Manchester United, you know. They went up straight away by Martial goal, which was a cracking goal on his left foot. Then Wolves, wow. Neves, what a flipping chance. Well, I mean, what a goal, not a chance. What a goal by him. absolutely take my hat off to him. A brilliant strike, a beautiful finish, and this is what Wolves can do. They're dangerous, and this is what I'm saying. Where I think they'll finish this season, like I said, top 10. They're good enough, the power's enough, they're strong enough, they've got a really strong team. I saw it last season when they came up, I was like, what the heck, a team that's just been promoted, how are you doing this? They're doing it again, they're a phenomenal team, you know, they've had business, they've had structure, it just works. Wolves look a really deadly team at the minute, and I take my hat once again to him. They're going to do some danger and damage this season to teams that do not want to be beat, really do. But Manchester United on the other hand, what the heck happened to him? They fell apart in the second half. What were they doing? And like I said, I feel like the first game of the season was a bit too much boom and a flash in the pan, you know. Oh, this is going to be an amazing season. I feel like Manchester United have to realise that it's not going to be that quick, your turnover. Yes, you used to be champions, but I feel like it's still a process of building the squad up, and it will still take 2 to 3 years before you're back up fighting for the title again. I really do. United have good players, but do they have a good enough team to be beating bigger teams? This is why I'm unsure with, you know. I look at the way of the Wolves. They missed a penalty, for example. It should be Rashford taking it for 1, but at the end of the day, you choose who you're taking it. Obviously, pop out the ball at the time. But Manchester United, they've still got work to do. I feel that first game kind of sugarcoated what actually is going to come this season. I feel like that was a kind of, obviously not faithful result, real result, which was a cracking result, but against a kind of new developing Chelsea side, which didn't really see, but against the Wolves side, you know, you kind of saw the real United, how they're going to be this season. And I think that's what they're going to be this season. They're going to be getting goals, but they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And, you know, are the defence fully strong enough? That's the thing. Yes, you've got Maguire, but is he as good as that United say? I don't think he is he? I don't think he is. I really hope you enjoyed week 2, guys, on the Simple Football Show, guys. I'll be back with the Simple Football Show week 3 next week, guys. But stay tuned, it's going to be a VAR video coming very soon in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that, guys. But yes, guys, let me know what you think in the comments once again as well, guys, and I will see you very soon, guys. Have a good one and keep supporting your teams in a bit. Peace out.